Do you remember where we were?
Um, somewhere in move 12, but I don't remember exactly where. But I know until when I know it more or less, but
Well, let's do it. Let's do it to warm up. So I'll just go up to where I'm gonna go, and you do whatever it is you know, and then I'll watch you do it. All right? That's the next move.
That was beautiful.
Okay, let me see you do it from the beginning up to where you're comfortable.
That was beautiful, Malcolm. The way you did it
Thank you.
was different.
A little different.
Yeah. So it won't be as beautiful when I do it, but
That's okay. That's okay. To there. To there. Do white crane again for me.
White
Move number
crane.
s- Move number 6. White crane spreads its wings.
Which one is that?
Stop. Stop.
I know what I did wrong.
Well,
No, no, but I'm sure many things, but I
yeah.
shouldn't lean like that. I shouldn't be like
No, no, you're right. You should not lean, but what I want to talk about was your shoulders.
oh,
Um, when you're going to have to use your shoulders all the time because the chi is going to go from the ground out to your hands, say. So it's going to have to go through your shoulders. Think of your shoulders as balls, right? In fact, you can think of all the major joints in the body as balls. There are 18 of them. Now, that's not counting all the vertebrae of the spine and the fingers, but the major 18 joints. There are 6 up and down the center, and there's 3 in each limb. If any of those balls are, let's say, ungrounded, then that's going to sort of stop the flow of your chi. It doesn't really stop, but it kind of impedes it a little bit. So, and this can get very, very subtle, but it's based on a very, very simple idea. You just want to keep those balls rolled down and in. So I'm going to do the move you just did. I'm going to do it wrong. All right, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit so you can see it. All right, and everybody does this. It's not just you. Trust me. Everybody does it when they're beginning. The reason I want to point it out is one, I don't like it, and two, it wastes a lot of your energy. It's very inefficient because what it means is you're holding something up that you don't need to hold up. And so you're going to waste that much energy. Now, if it's just one little thing like we're talking about here, it doesn't really matter. But if it's kind of a habit of motion, it means you're going to be doing that all the way through the form, and that's going to waste a lot of your energy. It's going to make you feel tired. Second thing is, when you push hands with someone who's well trained, they're trained to listen to your 18 balls and to feel, to sense whether they are well grounded or not well grounded. If they're not well grounded, that's where they will attack you.
because it's a weakness.
Because it's a weakness. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'm gonna do it, okay? Can you see it?
This doesn't move at all.
Well, that's because I was holding it really stiffly. Let me do it the right way.
Not only your upper body moves, but this moves a lot more than mine.
When when any of the 18 joints in your body have a stiffness in them, that stiffness tends to spread to all the other balls, right? So one of the things that you want to do as you go along and practice is just pay some attention to that. Do you feel kind of stiff anywhere? If you do, you probably are. Yes, you have a habitual way of being a little stiff in your shoulders. Everybody does that. Many people do it, right? Um, I'm just going to focus in on one little movement, right? I'm going to do it wrong, then I'm going to do it right, then I'm going to do it wrong, then I'm going to do it right, right? Here's wrong. I'm rolling those balls up a little. It's, I know I'm sort of exaggerating, but it's like, oh, I have to hold them up now, right? Now here's right. Easy. It's very easy. I don't have to do anything. Even if your hands are high, even if your hands are high up, your shoulders are down. If your shoulders are up, not good.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. It's exhausting. So you keep your shoulders down. All right. Now, someone who's good at push hands, let's say you and I were going to do a little friendly push hands match, right? We're going to come out and we're going to salute and then we'll touch hands. And I'm not going to do anything for the first minute or two. I'm just going to listen to you. What is your way of moving? What are your habitual ways? And you should be listening to me. Then we start to poke a little bit at each other. Right? Because I'm listening to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm getting the real Catherine. You could be faking me out. You could be doing things wrong in order to fool me. And then when I try to do something, you clobber me, right? But this is the there for me, there are two places that I listen to people. One is their shoulders and the other is their hips. If there's stiffness in either place, then I know I've got them because I can work that stiffness. If you have a little stiffness in your hips, all right, I might touch you here, but where I'm really touching you is there because I'm going to move this in such a way that it challenges this joint where you're a little stiff. And what happens when someone challenges a joint like that? You will stiffen it up even more. And as soon as you stiffen it up even more, right? Now it's over. All right? Because all I have to do is push into that stiff place and you will go backward. So instead, you just want to be very relaxed. If somebody pushes into it, it's no problem.
Okay.
Don't roll them up. Roll them down. Yeah? Good? Yeah? All right, you've got 18 balls in your body. Where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where are the other 6?
Yeah.
That's 1. Where's 2?
My
The
back.
yes, the 6. The neck is one, right? The thoracic hinge joint is one, right? The waist is one. Oh, the waist is also,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right? That's four. Where are the other two? Your hips?
Yeah.
So they count the hips twice because they count them once from the outside and they count them again from the inside. Don't ask me why. That's just the way they do it. All right. So those 18 joints, when you do a little push hands with somebody, you meet and you begin to push. What you're doing is listening to their joints. You do other things too, but you're also listening to their joints. Are they smooth? Are they relaxed? If they're not, if their shoulders are tense, or their hips are tense, that's their weak place. All you have to do is push into that, not really hard. You don't have to push into it like you're gonna knock them over. You just give them a little challenge, and they will stiffen up even more. And then you challenge them again, and they'll stiffen up even more. And then usually by the third time, you can just throw them out. All right. So the point of this long point is one of the things that you should train for when you're doing the form is relaxation. And one way, not the only way, but one way to think about relaxation is those 18 balls. Are they free? They're not stiff. They're very limber. You can just move them anywhere. All right? Now here's the tricky part. The Tai Chi form is actually very exact. But you have to stay very relaxed while you do something that's very exact. You're a book binder. Book binding is actually very exact.
Very precise.
It's very precise. But if you're going to be really good at it, you need to be very relaxed while you do it.
Yeah.
The first,
but I know it. I don't know Tai Chi. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's
exactly,
because my body doesn't know it yet.
exactly. That's the problem. The first book that you bind, you will not be relaxed.
No. And I have tension. I remember the tensions everywhere.
Yes, everybody does. Just like everybody who studies bookbinding, the first time they bind their own book, they're going to be a little tense about it.
Yeah, I mean, not even the first one. I mean, first 10, the first 15. I mean, it's
yes, that's exactly right, and that's why Tai Chi is an art. It's also a science, but there's a part of it that most Americans just sort of don't get. It's a craft.
Yeah.
It's a craft. And crafts in the United States are not what they used to be, let's put it that way. It's a craft. And to be a good craftsperson takes a lot of experience, a lot of confidence that you know what you're doing, right? and then you can just relax into it.
You can relax once you master the technique. I mean, in bookbinding, once you master the technique, you can finally be creative. I'm sure it's the same in Tai Chi.
It is, but there's a kind of strange thing about it. Because let's say you're doing bookbinding or you're making furniture as a craft. The book's not alive. The wood is not alive. But when you're doing Tai Chi, the thing you're working on is alive, whether it's yourself or somebody else. And so you're right that you need to know everything in order to be confident so that you can relax. But in order to learn everything, you have to be relaxed first. All right? Because if you're not, if your body is stiff, your mind will also be stiff.
I totally agree with you. When I practice by myself, I'm much more relaxed. Each time I practice in front of you, I'm never happy about what I do. Never ever. I mean, it's just like
I used to do exactly the same thing when I would work with Master Zhang. When I was by myself, I would do fine. But as soon as I got in front of Master Zhang, everything I would stiffen up, I would forget everything, etc., etc. Everybody does that. It's just part of the process. All right. But what one thing that will help is just keep the balls, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the hips, the knees, the ankles, and the balls up and down the center of the body. Just keep them rolled down. Keep them rolled down and in instead of raising them up like this. Keep them rolled down and in. And it will make you feel more relaxed. So this is, I think maybe we did this a long time ago, but try this with me. We're going to do it wrong. I want you to focus on here, right? How does that feel? Nice and relaxed? Okay, now roll them down and in, right? Boom. Oh, now I'm nice and relaxed. It's just that simple, right? When you roll your shoulders up like this, right? Feel your back. Feel what happens in your back. Yeah. There are several things that happens. The most important thing is you're raising your chi. You raise your chi. Right? It's really uncomfortable. When you raise your chi, it presses up into your heart. And it makes it hard for your heart to beat comfortably. The other thing it does is it raises up into your lungs and makes it difficult to breathe. The third thing it does when it comes up is this is actually the fright response. If you're taking a walk in a park in Paris and a tiger jumps out from behind a tree, what are you going to do? Ah, right? Ah, it's a natural thing to do. But when you do that, you're not prepared. You're no longer prepared to do anything. You're just frozen. Right? So part of the training is to train yourself not to do that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spend all this time doing this, but we might as well do it
no,
anyway.
it's very important, Malcolm. It's very important because I know that I have a problem with my shoulders, and it's not only my shoulders. Because of my shoulders, it's everything else. So it's really important for me to just
When
work
when
with it.
when one ball rolls up, the other balls tend to roll up too. Years and years ago, I may have told you the story, but this is a really important story for me. Years and years ago, when I was training with Master John, back in the 1990s, I used to do push hands with a Chinese guy named John Ho. John was a great guy. I really enjoyed him, still enjoy him. But he was a short guy. He was only about this tall, but he was very strong. And he had a trick that he would pull on, not just me, he'd pull it on everybody. And that is, he would start doing push hands with you. And then he would do this. Bah! Right into your chest. Not hard enough to hurt you. He wasn't trying to hurt you. But what he was trying to do is bounce you backward. And I was big enough that he couldn't really bounce me backward. But I would do this.
Mm.
Finally, one day, Master Jean, I think it was like Saturday or something, and then I went over to Master Zhang's house to do a private lesson. And as soon as I got in there, he said, you know, he didn't speak enough English to do this, so we had to work this out. But what he said basically was, you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. You keep raising your chi. As long as you do that, you're never going to get anywhere. All right? And so what he said was, you, Malcolm, you be John. I'll be Malcolm. So I pushed him, and instead he said, don't do this when someone pushes you. All right? Do this. All right? When you do this, you're just going to tip over backwards. He said, but the thing that I really want you to pay attention to is what's happening to your chi. Chi is associated with water. It's very heavy. Where does water want to go? Up or down?
Down.
Down. So what happens when you don't let it go down? You make it go up. You get top heavy. Right? You're top heavy. It's easy to push somebody over when they've raised their chi. And it makes you feel very uncomfortable, physically and emotionally. So when someone hits you up high, what they're doing is, whether they know it or not, what they're doing is trying to get you to react like this. So just train yourself not to do that. When they come in like this, you drop. So how do you train yourself? Well, you do the Tai Chi form, and you just keep everything down. Watch my shoulder. It never raises above a certain point.
Yeah, never.
It just stays comfortable all the time. When you train that way consciously, you learn to feel your own chi, and that it's down here, here and here. Huh? You can feel it's down. You feel grounded. You feel very steady. You feel strong. Now, that lesson that Master Jean gave me was the single most important lesson I ever got. Of all of it.
Wow.
Because before that, I just didn't get it. I just I did not put two and two together. And when Jean said, "Oh, can you feel your chi go up your back? You feel your chi go down your back, right?" That's it. That's the training, or at least a big part of it. It was for me. It was like a door opened,
Yeah.
and I went through the door, and there's this whole other world. Not just one little thing, but a whole world of things, right? Because then it was like, oh, now suddenly I can see. It's very simple.
I wouldn't use the word simple, but yeah,
Well,
I
I
mean
was thinking,
to be relaxed is not easy. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, 99% of people are tense. So to be relaxed
yes,
is,
that is really true. I'll tell you another story. We'll end on this. Years ago, when Annie and I lived back in San Francisco, and that's when, excuse me, that's when I was doing the training with Master Zhang. And I don't know, I'm going to tell you this little story. I don't know why this particular little story happened, but um, I was doing something. I came home and I just threw myself on the bed. I must have been worried about something. I was, working on something. And no, I don't even think it was Tai Chi, but it was something. And I was, worried and anxious about it. And I threw myself on the bed. And for 1 second, I let go of all that worry and anxiety. And it was like the clouds cleared away from the sky. The sky was beautiful and blue. And what I realized, and I'm still working on it. I mean, this is probably 10 years ago, at least. What I realized is I'm always tense because I'm trying to control everything.
we are all the same.
And why am I trying to control everything? Because I don't actually control anything. So I don't know why I do that. I do it because I'm anxious.
Yeah, of course.
Because I don't really understand how the world works. It seems absolutely crazy to me.
It is. It is.
And it is absolutely crazy. Um, and so you get tense, and it's like, oh, I have to control things. Yeah, and you don't. It's not conscious. It's not like I think things like that. But when I just let go of it, I realized, oh my God, that's what you're doing all the time. Even though you don't think it, you don't feel, you don't even know it, but that is what you're doing all the time. And what good does it do?
None. None, but
None. None.
it takes a lifetime to just like let go, and you just do it just, I guess, a few seconds before you die. I'm not very optimistic about it.
um, I'm better than I used to be, and Tai Chi has helped me a lot with that. But I still find myself challenged all the time, and I'm obviously still working on it. It's not like I've conquered it, right? But I'm still working on it. It's better than it used to be, but
It's it's work.
it's work. It's work.
Tai Chi helps because, I mean, at least to me, because when you do Tai Chi, you have to be now and here. You can't be anywhere else. So it
Yes.
helps you to be focused just in this moment, this second. It's why this Japanese Zen master is so amazing. You
Yeah.
can feel every tiny second. He's just all of him, all of himself is here and nowhere else.
Yes. He's really quite amazing.
He is. You just
He's
look at him and
he truly is a master, and when I watch him, I get a lot of different feelings from him, but one of the feelings I get is he's actually teaching, but no words.
yeah. No, you look at him and of course he is teaching, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this guy. Since the first time I saw him, I remember I was like fascinated. He's amazing. Yeah.
Well, for me, he shows me something about what human beings can be.
Mm.
Yes, he's much more advanced than I am in that regard. But he shows me where you can go. Now, a lot of people would watch him for a second or two and then they would just go away.
No, it's not possible, Michael. It's fascinating to look at him. You learn that life can be just that, to be in the moment and nothing else exists. I mean, it's just like, it's beautiful, but beautiful, not just beautiful aesthetically. It's beautiful because you can see inside him when he does it. And you can touch his soul. I mean,
That's a very interesting comment. In order to be in the present moment, you can't be hiding anything.
no.
It's just here I am. This is it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, stay for the next class because that's what we're going to do if you want to.
Well, it's 8 o'clock at night here.
Uh,
My husband is starving. It's
uh,
not easy for me because it's really at the end of the day and it's late. I mean,
you have to feed your husband for sure.
no,
But
he can feed himself, but we have only one room with the kitchen, the living room, the dining room, it's all in the same room.
uh-huh.
So
Well, look for the recordings tomorrow and
okay,
play with them a little bit.
sure.
All right.
And enjoy your Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, thank you very much. See you next time. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. It was great.